We've all been there, right? You've got a question, something you're curious about, a problem you need to solve. And what do? You open that browser and type it into that simple, clean, white box. It's basically a global ritual. But what happens when the information you get back just feels off? Well, that's the exact problem Google's trying to tackle now. And their solution? It might just change how we all search for, well, everything. So to really get the scale of this, you've got to start with this number. According to StatCounter, a staggering 91.6% of all searches on the entire internet happen on Google. It's not just another search engine. For most of us, it literally is the front door to the internet. That's an unbelievable amount of power over what we see and learn. And here's where things get tricky. Even though we all rely on this one dominant tool, a huge number of us are super skeptical of what we find there. The Edelman Trust Barometer found that 71% of people just flat out distrust online news. So we're all searching all the time, but we're not sure we can actually believe the results. That's a huge disconnect.
And that leads us to the big question, right? How do you solve that paradox? How can Google, the gatekeeper to pretty much all information, help you navigate a world of stuff you're not even sure you can trust? Well, they've just rolled out something brand new that tries to do exactly that.
It's called Preferred Sources. And honestly, the name says it all. It's a pretty bold attempt to hand some of the curation power, which has always been in the hands of the algorithm, directly over to you. So what is it really? Well, think of it like building your own personal panel of experts. This feature lets you make a list of your go-to news sites, your favorite blogs, whatever outlets you actually trust. Once you set that up, Google gives their content a little boost whenever you're searching for news. You're essentially telling the algorithm, hey, thanks, but for this stuff, I've got my own trusted team. And the best part? Google didn't bury this deep in some complicated settings menu you'd never find. Nope, it's built right into the search page itself. Here's how you can take control in just 3 quick steps. Okay, so next time you search for a big news story, look for that top stories box we all see. Right next to it, you'll spot a new little icon. Give that a click, and boom, you can immediately start searching for any source you like. Your local paper, a niche industry blog, a big national outlet. You just add them to your list. And just like that, your results will start putting the voices you've picked front and center. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so people will just pick their one favorite news source and create their own perfect little filter bubble, right? Well, that's what's so fascinating. Early data shows something completely different. During testing, more than half of the people who used this feature selected 4 or more different sources. So it seems like the goal for most people isn't to build an echo chamber, but to assemble their own personalized, trusted news desk. And here's the key thing to get. This is all about control, not censorship. Your chosen sources, yeah, they'll show up more often, sometimes even in their own special box. But Google doesn't get rid of everything else. It just reorders things based on what you said you prefer. The rest of the internet is still there, and you have the power to change that list whenever you want. All right, let's zoom out a bit. Why would Google, the company famous for its all-knowing, all-powerful algorithm, willingly give up some of that control? Well, turns out it's a really smart move in what's basically an online information war. This really breaks it down perfectly. Think about it. Social media feeds are a push system. The algorithm pushes content at you that it thinks will keep you angry or happy or just scrolling forever. With this new feature, Google Search becomes a pull system. You are actively pulling information from sources that you've already decided you trust. It's a huge shift from being a passive consumer to an active curator. And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it. Google is protecting its most valuable asset, its reputation. We're in an era where AI can spit out endless amounts of junk that sounds real and where misinformation just spreads like wildfire. So giving users a tool to filter out that noise, that helps Google stay useful, and in the end, that helps it stay on top. So if this changes the game for us, you can bet it's a total game changer for news publishers. For years, the main goal was to figure out how to please the algorithm. Now, the goal might be shifting to pleasing you, the reader, directly. For as long as I can remember, the game for news sites was SEO. search engine optimization. It was a technical race of using the right keywords and getting the right links. But this feature signals a massive shift. Now, the game is about building a brand. It's about having an identity that's so strong, so clear, and so trustworthy that a reader will go out of their way to add you to their personal list. Suddenly, trust becomes your most valuable keyword. And this just opens up a ton of new opportunities. Publishers can build a more direct line to their most loyal readers, right inside Google itself. They're less at the mercy of some mysterious algorithm update that can tank their traffic overnight. In fact, Google is even telling publishers to put "Add us as a preferred source" buttons on their websites. It basically turns search into a loyalty channel, kind of like getting someone to sign up for your newsletter.
Which leaves us with this one big provocative question. Does this mean that building a brand is now more important than just doing SEO? In a world where you, the user, get to be the algorithm, the new challenge for anyone creating content isn't just to be discoverable, it's to be chosen, to be trusted, and that is a whole different ballgame.